What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. This is episode 16 now on the series. If you guys are enjoying the series, be sure to check for the link in the description. You can find the link to the series playlist there and catch up on any previous episode that you may have missed. If you guys remember from the last episode, we bought a red Ferrari F50. And honestly, I wish we could have done more to that thing. I wish we would have built it up properly and redid the bottom end and all of that. We probably were okay on the engine after repairing those few minor things that were wrong with it. But what we're going to do today is head to the auction house. And I ain't leaving until we come back with something cool. So let's take a look. All right, this is going to be a little bit different here. We have a Toyota Prius, or as the British would call it, a Toyota Prius, a XW30. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe that's a model number, but it is a GT300. So it is a V8 dual overhead cam supercharged engine in a Prius, and it's also wide body. This thing looks insane. So the actual car value is unknown to me at this point. Its current bid is at $59,630. I think we're gonna start the auction, and hopefully we can make a deal on this thing. I'm gonna let everyone else kind of wheel and deal. Car's value is 116. Oh my God, I misclicked.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer. Every night.
Well, there goes our chance at getting a wide-body V8 Prius. God dang it. I clicked underneath the raise 5,000 mark, and someone literally picked this thing up for 84 grand. Oh, I'm a little bitter. It looks like we have an LFA in the list over here. We got an F350 Super Duty, a Rocket Bunny S13, and just a standard stock S13, so we'll skip ahead here. God, I'm really gonna beat myself up about that. We have a 2017 Ford GT wide body, way out of our price range, but that's definitely a cool car. We're gonna have to check that out later on. Next up on the block, this is a stock Nissan S13. It's had some rough years. It's got a little bit of corrosion on the panels. It's got the Sylvia front end, so it has those projector headlights. It's a coupe, so that's pretty cool. We could definitely do something neat there. I think we're gonna pass on this one for now, solely because the next one up on the block is a Rocket Bunny, so a wide body S13. Let's take a look at this thing. Oh my God, yes. So still a coupe. It's got a little bit more aero going on to it. Got that duckbill spoiler on the rear, and it also has a rear window spoiler. That thing looks insane. Current bid's at 11.2. I think we're gonna try to get this one. Overall state's only 3 stars, but that's no big deal. We're pretty used to the Junkyard cars anyways. Let's start this auction, and I am going to try my very, very best not to do a misclick again, because we need a car for this episode so badly. This is getting dicey. As long as we stay under 44 grand, I think we'll be all right. We're only at 34 right now. We got about 10,000 left. So now we're already over the car's value. I'm going to keep going just a little bit. Oh, man, this is killing me. There we go. All right, so we went about $2,000 over budget. That's not not over budget, but over the car's actual value. 44 is what I wanted to spend, but that's all right. We'll send that thing off to the garage. All right, here it is, guys. So the front end is slightly different. You can see it doesn't have the same projectors that the stock bodied S13 had. These wheels are hideous. They have got to go. Are those Mazda wheels? Yeah, those are getting ditched right away. Body panels on this thing actually don't look terrible. Rear left fender. Oh, okay, so that's one big assembly. So we're gonna have to repair that, or replace that. Sorry, we can't repair body panels just yet. So let's send this thing over to Car Lifter A and get after it. All right, first thing on the agenda here on this car, we're going to take care of the frame rust. So we'll go ahead and use that. $1,000 right there. Cleaned it up a little bit. Not a huge noticeable difference. And now we have the interior cleaned up as well. Let's get this equipment moved back. I'm having a really hard time today with the mouse movements here. It's getting a little bit rough. We're gonna remove the Australia plate off of there. I say we just take off every body panel we possibly can, and we will get this thing fitted out right. with proper brand new stuff from Nissan. A lot of the parts on these cars you can't get from the factory anymore. With the over fenders, it looks like the wheel actually does come out through the old fender. We'll just pretend that that's sort of cut and that doesn't exist. Looking good. Got another Australia plate. I don't know why that didn't come off with the bumper, but that's no big deal. Remove the rear window. We got right quarter glass on here. Let's get the left quarter glass as well. Remove the door. That'll get rid of the mirror and the glass there. I think that about does it. Oh, front windshield. That's obvious. And front right fender. And I think that's it. So that is the car fully stripped down now. The interior we're going to leave for now. Oh, sorry. God, totally forgot about that thing. Okay, now we're looking good. Let's head into the shop here and we'll get some Rocket Bunny stuff. So it looks like we have a couple of different options for exhaust. So let's remove the quote-unquote front clamshell here. So we do have an actual exhaust pipe that comes to the rear. Let's figure out what we want to do here. So we'll come back to the exhaust. Let's do a little tint here. We can get all these tinted windows. That'll look pretty good. All right, now for the front bumper, I want to do something a little different on this one. We had front bumper A on it before, I believe. Let's go for this front bumper D right here. That looks like it has some major wide body. We can always come through and change it. That's not a problem at all. All right, moving down to the exhaust. Let's just do one big solid tip here. Do like a 3-inch tip on this thing. And then front left door. That's kind of funny. It shows the interior door panels. We'll grab 2 of those. Left and a right. And since we went with the bumper D here, I'm assuming we're going to have to go with fender D on the left and the right side. Let's go with like this D Max looking hood D. That's gonna match our body kit pretty nicely. God, these images look pretty bad, don't they? We'll do headlight D just because that's the same number that, or the same, Jesus, same number, the same letter that we've been doing. So we'll stick with that. Doesn't look like they have the option of doing Ganondorfs on this thing, so we're gonna go with the paint to match mirrors here. I guess we'll do taillight D. I don't know why not. Rear bumper, we're gonna do rear bumper D. I don't know what that's going to look like. Rear clamshell. We're going to have to go D on that too. Left rear fender. I think that might be an emblem, so we'll just get that too. Why not? And then left fender D. Rear right fender. That looks like it might be an emblem as well. Rear right fender B. I think that's the... Yeah, that should be like the rear spoiler for the window. But let's just go with the stock trunk here. And there we go. All right, so we're down to 129,000 bucks. We better be able to piece this thing together and make it look real nice. Looks like it had trunk B on it before. So this one just adds the little keyhole here. It's not bad. Rear clamshell. We're gonna go with the drift wing here. Look at that wang game, dude. We're gonna go with taillight D. Ooh, those look nice. I actually dig that. Definitely beats the old taillights we had on there. And then rear bumper, we have rear bumper D. Dude, that is huge. Holy crap. All right, this is going to be so sick, dude. I'm really pumped for this. Rear left fender D. That is the super wide body kit. And we're going to have to get this thing painted because the mesh is a little bad. The mesh is a little terrible to look at this point in time, but it'll look a lot better once we start getting everything else mocked up here. All right, for the exhaust, we have that huge tip. So the old one we took off was pretty big as well. That thing looks nice in there. I'm pretty happy with that. Moving around to the front, we have to get our doors installed here. Got some brand new doors straight from Nissan, and let's get the glass in here. That tinted glass, looking good. Front fender, we're doing these fender Ds. I have no idea what that's gonna look like. I dig it. I like the vents there. I think that looks pretty nice. For the front bumper, this is where it might get a little weird. I have no idea what this is gonna look like. From the images in the store, it looks nothing like this, but I'm pretty happy with that. For the headlights, we're gonna use headlight D. Hopefully that fills the space a little bit nicer. Holy rice. Okay, we might be changing those out. They don't look terrible, but it's really just not my cup of tea. And that side, that's looking okay. Let's get the other side fender on here. Now for the hood, we got the D-Max hood with the vents up the top. This thing's gonna look insane, dude. I'm glad we're not keeping it because I feel like this isn't exactly the wide body S13 that I would want to drive, but... And the front window, we do need another front window. I was under the impression we already had one because we got all that tinted stuff. But let's try to find the front window here. There we go. All right. Too bad we couldn't just call Safe Light out here and get a new windshield put in, but there we go. All right. Things are looking okay as far as the appearance, the aero goes here. I think the next step, just so we can sort of start to get the feel for things, let's move this into the paint shop here, lay some color on it. That way it doesn't look so weird, because the mesh back here is really just, it's not sitting right with me. It looks really, really funny. This body kit is insane. We're gonna have to get some mega spaced out wheels to fill this thing out, but that's no big deal. All right, right off the bat, I want to head down to liveries, see what we got here. That's super weird. I have no idea what that is. And then we got kind of a cool little like Brembo, Gretty, Nismo, Advan, Yokohama sponsored drift sort of livery. I like that, but I don't think we're going to be doing that on this car. I'm going to go with a pearl, and I feel like we're going to do black on this thing, dude. I don't know. Some of the mesh on this car, man, it doesn't like the pearl paint, I don't think. Ooh. Yo, chrome black looks freaking insane. Let's run chrome black. That looks so good. And there we go. All right. Dude, that looks nuts. The reflections off of this thing are insane. All right, now that we've got a nice base coat on here, let's move this back over to car lifter A here. That looks nuts. I'm super happy with that paint job. I don't know why, like the other black cars that we've done, I don't know why we didn't do the chrome paint, because it's so deep. Oh, I love it, dude. That looks so cool. All right, let's get these old wheels off of here. And we're just going to take a note as far as the stance goes, so we can space it out accordingly next time around. They're pretty sunk in the front and in the rear. Let's get these things taken off of here. And hopefully we can find something that sort of looks like it'll fit this massive drift kit. Ooh, engine's actually pretty complete. We didn't even take a look at that thing yet. It's not in bad condition. I want to see what all it's missing right out the gate. I don't see anything missing off of it, actually. What engine did this have? There's no swap options. It's only got an i4 BMJ engine, so really not the greatest thing in the world. It's not going to make stupid power, but at its current state, I mean, we can flip this thing for a mega profit. Well, not true. I'm thinking of the previous episode again, thinking we bought it for 25. We paid 47, 48. I don't remember. Somewhere in there. No, it was 46. We paid like 46.7 for it, and we haven't really made that much on the back end as far as restoring this thing goes. So maybe we need to get some wheels on it, and then we can take a look here. I'm going to experiment around with a couple of sizes, front and rear, and I'll see you guys here in a sec. All right, guys, I think I finally found something that I'm actually happy with. So we went with a 305, a huge thick tire. Here, let me focus in on this so you guys can get a better idea about this. Literally huge tire. Okay, it had like a 325 on it before, and it was actually hitting this strut right here. So what we did is we went 305/30, so the sidewall's pretty skinny for such a large tire, and the offset of the rim itself, they're 18s by the way, but the offset is 40. So for reference, on that Mark II wide body that we did, which was huge. I mean, the wide body on that thing was a whole foot out from the rest of the body of the car. This thing's at 40. On the Mark II, it was 25. So just insane. But we're going to get the rest of the wheels mounted up here. I realize that it's a drift car, and you should probably have skinnier tires in the front than in the rear. At least I think, from what I understand, that's how most of the cars are ran. However, this just seems to fit the best, front and rear. So I think we're just going to send it and roll with this for now. But look at that. We have like the hottest of the hot boy fitment on here. It looks insane. Like seriously, I can't believe we got it to fit this well. If you come up to the front right here, we're flush with the fender right there in the front, and then in the rear, we're just tucked in just barely enough to fit in the over fenders there. I think that turned out insanely good. And then the wheel choice was just, I wanted something that was sort of hot boy looking. We definitely needed a sort of 2 or 3 piece style wheel with a large lip, and this is the one that sort of fit the bill. So it definitely looked a little bit better, I think, on the F50. I know for sure it would look great on an F40, but they're sort of like Blitz style wheels, I feel like, is what they kind of resemble. So I think we're gonna leave that there for now, and we will run through the rest of the car here and take a look at whatever else this thing is going to need. So starting off with the engine bay here, I want to do a couple of different tests here. We're gonna bring out the OBD. We can't use that, it's too old. Okay, we're not going to use the OBD tester in that case. We are going to use the compression tester, and hopefully everything's good. That's not a good sign. So 2 out of the 4 piston rings are at 44%, but that's not terrible. I mean, it's still gonna run just fine. The block's in decent condition. For a used S13, I feel like we got a pretty good deal here. So let's run one more diagnostic here on the electronic meter. A couple of beep boops, and it'll tell us whether or not we have to replace our battery, our starter, anything like that, our alternator. All right, let's see what we got here. Radiator fan housing B is looking a little bad, as well as one of those fans is looking a little toast, but everything else honestly is in tip-top shape. So I think what we're gonna do now is hoist this thing up in the air as high as it can go, and we're just gonna simply change the oil here quick. Gonna move equipment over to car lifter A. There we go. All right, now we're going to use this equipment here. Drain. Oh, there was no oil in the engine. That's convenient. All right, we didn't even have to do that. Okay, now that we've totally wasted time there, let's head back into the engine bay here. So I want to upgrade like the fueling on this car. I want to upgrade the air coming in, the air intake on this car, and probably the brakes as well, maybe some exhaust, but nothing else. I want to keep it as simple as we possibly can. So we're gonna come in here, take off these ignition leads right there, those ignition wires. The ignition coil we're gonna remove as well. We're gonna hopefully get an upgraded one of those. While we're back here, we'll take out the old fuel filter, and let's pull out each one of these spark plugs here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's a 4-cylinder, it's either a 2-liter or a 2.4 liter, right? I think they're both KAs. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I don't know Nissans very well at all. Now that we've got the ignition stuff sort of out of there, we're gonna take out this fuel rail. We're gonna upgrade that. We're gonna upgrade the throttle on here, and you know what? While we're at it, we'll get a new intake manifold. Why not? Give it a little bit better airflow in there. After all, we are gonna be dumping quite a bit of fuel into this thing. We'll remove the brake servo right there, and we'll get a replacement one of those. We're gonna remove the radiator fan housing and remove the radiator. We are going to be upgrading the cooling as well. I probably didn't mention that, but that's no big deal. Let's run back here, take out the old fuel pump. We're gonna be replacing that with a brand new one, and the battery on this vehicle is conveniently in the rear. We're gonna get a new battery too while we're at it, a new servo, and I think that'll about do it. This vehicle does not have ABS, so we're kind of looking out there. A little bit less money we'll have to spend in the end. We'll put on our upgraded, nice and polished intake manifold right here. Now that we have that done, we can put our new upgraded fuel rail in here. So we'll grab that, stick that on in there. Now the i4 throttle body, they look very different. So yeah, see this one, they actually cleaned it up. It looks pretty nice. The other one kind of looks like this whole weird conglomerate that should never go on a car. But we got a new fuel filter back here, new ignition coil. Those are both upgraded. You can tell by the red accent color there. Let's put in our new radiator while we're looking ahead. Get our new fan housing, fan shroud, whatever you want to call it, up there. And we can start putting in our new spark plugs right here. And last one, there we go. All right, now with that done, it's gonna let us put in our new wires, our new leads. And there we go. I think that's looking pretty nice. So let's head back to the car now, or let's head to the back of the car now. And we can get a new one of those put in and grab our new fuel pump. All right, things are looking good. Cleaned it up a little bit. Let's check what our car status is at now. We're at 70,000, so we're actually making a pretty decent profit now at this point. I'm gonna rip these wheels back off one last time and redo the brakes, and then we can go chuck it on the dyno and see what it makes for power. Okay, so everything should be in tip-top condition now. Well, tip-top shape. Condition is still pretty poor, but we're gonna top this thing off with oil, and I guess we'll send it on into the dyno room, and hopefully it makes over 141 or whatever this thing had from the factory. I got high hopes. We did add quite a few little upgrades here, and let's check our car status here. We're up to $71,000 now in the car value. This car actually had 141,000 miles on it, which is just insane because it just doesn't look like it would have that many. But that's also because we restored the entire exterior of the thing, so kind of makes sense. Send it on over into the dyno room. We'll take a look here. All right, we're off to a halfway decent start. Curve looks a little iffy. Yeah, dude, we're making way less horsepower, and the number's actually lower than I said. I said 141. It's actually 114. We're only making 87 horsepower at the wheels right now, so that's not very good. However, let's see. I wanted to test this. It does not decrease the car value after you measure the engine power, so that's kind of nice. Something to keep in mind for future cars. But I think we're gonna send this thing over to garage entrance A, and we'll take it out for a little rip, see what it can do. I think we'll hit up the speed track first. All right, we made it here to the drag strip. And the launch is super slow. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Okay, it's kind of pathetic. It's starting to speed up a little bit. You can see the suspension is definitely a little hurt. It's kind of bouncy. We're only up to 71, 75, 70, 78. Okay, up to 80. We're doing okay. Wow, this thing is awful. We have a 0 to 60 in 13 seconds. We're not even gonna make it to 100. Maybe we will. I don't know, it's kind of flattening out. We're hitting this plateau here. We're up to 95. Yeah, this is rough. 96? I think we're gonna top out at 96. Wow. Okay, so note to self. This is a horrible car. Let's return to the garage, and we're gonna hit up the racetrack. All right, now that we know how much of a dog this thing is, we're gonna see if we can't just try to do one lap. I would love to do one lap in this thing without hitting a wall, without spinning out, anything like that. Steering's pretty sensitive, which is surprising. We did not upgrade any of the, oh my god, it's something I'm noticing with the mod cars is the more intricate the bodywork is, it seems like the more frame ratey the game gets. It doesn't really like all the additional features of the cars, but I suppose we'll just have to try to make it work here. I'm gonna do my best not to hit a single wall on this lap here, but yeah, you guys can see right there the frames just drop. And my computer, not that my computer's like super beefed up or anything, but it's really not a terrible setup. I mean, it's got a bunch of stuff that's supposed to make this game run flawlessly, but as you guys can see right now, it's a little laggy. Even like my steering is a little late, but here we go. We've already been passed by the Mark 1, Mark 2, and Mark 4 Golfs that we own, and I'm really glad we're gonna sell this thing, dude. It is a dog. Maybe if we upgraded the engine, it wouldn't be so bad, but there we go. That's 129 across the line, and I think that's a good place to stop here. I do want to get a nice look at that front end. Ooh, buddy. I wasn't sure I was gonna like those headlights, but they look pretty nice. So we'll head back to the garage here, and we can say sayonara to this car as well. I really like doing all these flips though, or like partial restorations, because it really does show me like what sort of cars I actually do want to keep, and what cars I don't ever want to own again. Honestly, I think this is one of them. If it had an engine swap option, that would be awesome. I think we could really have some fun in this thing, but the factory inline 4 here is just not cutting it. Obviously, it's not fully upgraded. We have some suspension issues we could probably work out, but I think it's better off we just say goodbye to this thing. So let's go ahead and sell it. 71,000 bucks. At least this time, we're gonna make a decent profit, whereas on the previous car we did not. So we're up to $197,000 now. Hopefully, after the next car, we can break into that $200,000 threshold. But I think that's going to do it for this one, guys. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.